guys, welcome back. If you're new here, my name is Amber, and in this week's video I thought that we would take it back to basics and do a super beginner friendly, no power tools needed, one day flip. So if you are just beginning your journey, or sometimes you just need to take a break and do something a little bit easier than a whole huge transformation, be sure to stick around for the whole little makeover that I do. This video is sponsored by Dixie Belle, so they did send me some fun products to try, so we will be using those. And if you're not already subscribed, be sure to hit that subscribe button and that little bell notification. I try to post videos weekly. With all that being said, let's go ahead and get started. And here is the piece I'm going to be working on today. This is a solid wood little end table that I picked up for free. It's nothing fancy. It's not vintage or anything like that. Little end tables is actually what I started out my painting journey doing, and that's something that you really want to start out on if you're brand new. Start out small, and anything that you can get for free is a plus. As you can see here, I noticed that there were some swirl marks from a sander, so this piece has definitely already been refinished once. The first thing I always like to do is to remove any drawers or doors and any hardware that is on the piece, and then after that I will go ahead and give it a really thorough clean. I'm using some Pristine Clean and I mixed it up in my spray bottle, and I gave the entire piece a really good clean with that. After I was done with the Pristine Clean, I went back in and wiped everything down just with a wet rag to get rid of any residue that was left behind from the cleaner. This little guy was in overall really good condition. Like, it wasn't wobbly or anything like that, but it did have some deep scratches and gouges in it, so I am using Dixie mud to fill those in. After the Dixie mud had dried, I went in with a sanding sponge and sanded off all the residual wood filler that was left behind. I also gave the entire piece a really good scuff sand while I was doing this. That's the number one thing. You want to make sure you scuff sand all your pieces so that your paint will adhere to it correctly. You don't want your paint peeling or scratching off later down the road. Then with a microfiber cloth, I just wiped back any dust that was left over from sanding. I'm going to be using the Dixie Belle Silk line in the color Hampton Olive, and I am applying this with my flat medium synthetic brush. The Silk line is their all-in-one paint. It does have a primer and a top coat included, so this is all that you would need if you're not worried about bleed through, which I was not. So I didn't prime, so I was ready to go, and I just started applying my paint. I have used Dixie Belle's chalk mineral paint several times before, but this was my first time using the Silk line, and it went on really smooth. I did dampen my brush to keep a wet edge with my mister bottle, but other than that, I did not add any extra water to it, and I did a total of 3 coats for full coverage. Like I stated, this is an all-in-one paint, so it does include a top coat. However, for high traffic areas, I do like to put an additional top coat on. So I used Dixie Belle's clear coat in flat and applied it with the blue applicator sponge. I did 2 coats to the top of the table just because it would have high use and I wanted to really make sure that my paint was protected. Another really simple way to update any look is just to simply change out the hardware. So I am just applying this new knob that I got from my dad. He actually got a box of these for $5 at a garage sale, and I think it really finishes off the look. All right, and before we take a look at the final reveal, let's look back and remember what we started with here. And here is the final reveal. It was a super simple one-day little makeover, but I think it made a really big difference on this little boring end table. As always, if you guys have any questions, feel free to leave those below in the comments. Thanks so much for watching, and I will see you guys next weekend with another flip.